Big Finish fans and Doctor Who fans. In this review I will be looking at the second story from the early adventures of the Doctor's Tale. Now, I was meant to be uploading the Philip Hinchcliffe Presents box set, but due to YouTube being a bit funny, the uploading time for that is just crazy. So far it's saying like 27 hours until it's actually uploaded, which is just crazy. So I thought I would put this forward and review it. So yeah, without further ado, let's look at the cover for this story, then the usual procedure, the booklet, the discs, and then my thoughts on this story. Right, so the cover, I have to say the cover looks fantastic. It's my favourite from the early adventures of Series 1 anyway. At the top we have brand new adventures there, then we have the Canterbury Tales, which is sort of a big part of the story. Then we have Vicky, Ian and the Doctor in his historical get-up. Then we have a castle, then the TARDIS with the snow falling and the crows. Then we have the silver Doctor Who logo there, William Russell and Maureen O'Brien in The Doctor's Tale by Mark Platt. And then we have William Hartnell there with his vortex, which is quite a cool image there. Then we have the audio adventures of Doctor Who. On the side we've got the William Hartnell logo there, The Doctor's Tale 1.2. And then we have what the story is about, so do feel free to pause if you want to know more about the story. Then we have the cast list. At the background we have a Starfield and the Hartnell Vortex combined, and the total runtime of the story is 120 minutes. So that's the cover art, looks fantastic. Now let's look at the booklet and then the disc. So here is the booklet, so if we open it up, we have the writer's notes there. Then we have a picture of the cast members in this story. Then we have producer's notes, advertisement for Doctor Who magazine. Then we have the two sort of main people that drive the story, William Russell and Maureen O'Brien. Then we have advertisement for the Bounty of Sirius, and then we get more Big Finish, then credits, and of course the reversible cover, which is always nice to have. Like the main of the board, the Doctor's Tale has individual titles there, so we have Lord of Misrule. Part 2 we have White Hart, and then for part 3 and 4 we have Sanctuary and the Empty Crown, and then we have advertisement for season 1 of the early adventures there. So that's the way this audio is presented. Now let's look at my thoughts on this story. So my thoughts on The Doctor's Tale. The Doctor's Tale is a fun little romp of an adventure, with it being a mixture of the Crusades and the Time Meddler. The story has some real sort of excellent narration to set the story and set the tone of the story, with it being quite lyrical. Now this story really does have one of my favourite elements about Doctor Who, especially with historical stuff like the Visitations. But Doctor Who plays on some of historic mysteries, and this is what I like about this story, because it plays with history, because we're not quite sure, and it's nice to see that Doctor Who giving it its own sort of twist or spin, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like Mark Platt has done a fantastic job creating a great piece, a great pure historical story for William Hartnell, which you could easily believe was slotted out from 63 to 60, well 60 from 1965 really, which is great because it does have that very 60s quality with the music. The music again is a big part of this, what really does add to the 60s feel to the story. Now, performance wise, William Russell, I have to congratulate on his William Hartnell impression, because his voice has been a bit more mischievous and a bit more higher in tone to give us this sort of mischievous thing, because this is a fantastic story for Hartnell's Doctor. And this story, I could actually hear William Hartnell speaking this dialogue. It was crazy. Just that little bit of change in his voice made me easily picture William Hartnell's Doctor doing all this weird stuff what he does in this story, especially in part 1. Part 1 is just a great little fun story. I think it's part 1 or 2. William Hartnell gets some great bits of moments, his Doctor does anyway. Maureen O'Brien, I have to congratulate her, because I did criticise Caroline Ford for not doing this, and that is changing her voice to differentiate Barbara to Susan, whereas Maureen O'Brien has tried and it does work considerably, and I think William Russell and Maureen O'Brien did an excellent job doing the dual role of the four leads in this story, as it were. Now my special mention, I have to say, for other cast members is John Banks, because he is very versatile in the story, but he's able to play multiple characters in this story and still differentiate his voice and master all these various accents, which is great. So overall, what are my thoughts on this story? This story has excellent narration to bind the story together to create this sort of very 60s-esque story, and I have to say it is quite a masterpiece for the early adventures in a way. And I have to say the narration really does add this sort of chilling landscape, and the tone of the story is quite haunting, especially the end when, you know, the Doctor and all these other people are trying to stop the main foe in this. You can easily picture it. It's very sort of menacing with this sort of fog and mist and, you know, the snow falling. It's great. I do love that. Yeah, the story is a lot of fun for Hartnell's Doctor, as I said, and Barbara. This story is a great story for Barbara because it shows her love of history, especially for the Canterbury Tales, which is explored later on in the story. And Vicky, she gets quite a bit of characterization with meeting a character. I think her name is Queen Isabella, and it's interesting to see how they react, and it's great to see Maureen O'Brien's character get a bit more to her character. And Ian, you know, gets his is the action man, you know, doing fight sequences and fight scenes. It's all round a brilliant story, so I'm going to rate this story 7 Lords of Misrule out of 10. It is a fantastic story, and this has been my review of The Doctor's Tale. Hopefully my next review will be of the Philip Hinchcliffe box set. If not, it will be of Mistfall. So for now, goodbye.